Many English learners say they feel stuck. They memorize vocabulary lists, read grammar rules, even watch English shows, but when it comes to real conversation, they freeze. That's because language isn't just knowledge. It's experience. And one of the best ways to build that experience is through stories. Stories help you feel the rhythm of real English, hear how people talk naturally, and connect words to moments. If you're serious about learning English in a natural, enjoyable way, you're in the right place. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Lingtrack. Every day, we bring you new stories, because real English lives in real experiences. It was Daniel's second day in Barcelona. He had arrived late the night before, checked into a small guest house in the Gothic quarter, and barely had time to unpack before falling asleep. He had no big plans. No tour bookings. No guide. No schedule. Just one idea: walk. Wherever his feet took him. That morning, he stepped outside with only a bottle of water and a small notebook in his pocket. No phone. No map. The streets of Barcelona stretched out in front of him like a puzzle waiting to be explored. He turned left, then right again, not because he knew where he was going, but because the street looked interesting. He passed a bakery, its windows fogged with the warmth of morning bread. The smell of croissants and coffee floated out, and he paused for a second, watching a local man sip espresso at the counter. The place had no sign, just a green awning and the clinking of cups inside. He moved on. A few minutes later, Daniel found himself walking down a narrow alley. Laundry hung between the buildings, flapping gently in the breeze. A cat stretched out on a balcony above him. The walls were covered with graffiti, some beautiful, some strange. One image stopped him, a painting of a girl looking up at the sky, with stars painted above her head. He took a moment to stare at it, then wrote a line in his notebook: "A city of hidden stars." As he turned a corner, he entered a square he hadn't seen before. Children were chasing pigeons. An old man was sketching something in a notebook. A woman in a red coat sat on a bench, feeding bits of bread to the birds. There was music playing, someone with a guitar, soft and slow. It echoed off the stone walls. Daniel sat on the edge of the fountain in the center of the square. He didn't know the name of the place. Didn't need to. The air smelled of orange trees and old stone. The sunlight warmed his shoulders. He felt no rush to move on. After a while, he stood and kept walking. He passed a tiny bookshop, the kind with stacks of paper in the window and dusty shelves inside. He stepped in for just a minute. The owner looked up, smiled, and said something in Catalan. Daniel smiled back. No words were needed. Outside, the city was starting to hum with tourists, but Daniel stayed on the smaller streets. He passed through an archway, down steps made of old stone, and found himself near the sea without even realizing he'd walked that far. He stood for a while, just watching the waves hit the shore. Kids were playing football nearby. A woman jogged past him with headphones. He took off his shoes and walked barefoot for a moment on the sand, just feeling the earth. He didn't check a clock. Didn't take a photo. He just stood there, breathing, listening, being. Later, he found a small cafe by the water. Ordered something by pointing at the menu. The waiter smiled and nodded. A few minutes later, he was eating grilled vegetables and bread, sipping a cold drink, watching boats sway in the harbor. When he finished, he opened his notebook again. Wrote one line, sometimes you find yourself by getting lost. That day, Daniel didn't visit a single famous building. He didn't check in anywhere. He didn't follow a list. But he experienced the city. The real city. The smells, the people, the sounds, the colors. And in that experience, he wasn't just practicing English, he was thinking in it. In today's story, you heard useful, natural phrases like, no big plans, check into a guest house, wherever his feet took him, narrow alley, laundry hung between buildings, flapping gently, one image stopped him, chased pigeons, feeding bread to the birds, echo off the stone walls, warmed his shoulders, stepped in for just a minute, starting to hum, walked barefoot, sway in the harbor, and getting lost. These are the kinds of expressions that help your English feel alive, not from textbooks, but from life. Hearing them in context helps you remember them deeply. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn English the natural way, through meaningful moments, like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Lingtrack. We upload daily stories that help you feel the language, not just study it. See you in the next video.